Exactly. It's not raining at all in Cape Town, but it's raining gold for South Africa at the Commonwealth Games. I mean, as it currently stands, South Africa has already won 9 gold, 6 silver, 6 bronze medals. Mamokgethi has won 3 gold medals and 1 silver. Akani Simbane, who is my hero, absolutely love that guy. He made history by winning gold in the 100-meter sprint, and Caster Semenya shattered the Commonwealth record in the 1,500 meters, also breaking Zola Bud's record, which is unbelievable. So congratulations to all of our athletes so far, and we are supporting you all the way to the end. We're sending you so much love and all of our best energy.
Something else that makes me so proud to be South African, of course, is how much love the nation has shared for Mamwini Madikizela Mandela since her tragic passing. And the memorial service is being held today at Orlando Stadium, and the turnout has been nothing short of incredible, with thousands of people arriving to honor the life of one of our most beloved icons.
Yeah, and also the newspaper today was really honoring her, like almost clearing her name, which was so beautiful to see.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Now, today's show is all about the power of education. And later on, we feature 3 young women whose passion for knowledge motivated them to graduate with degrees from UCT against all odds.
Earning a qualification is a very challenging task, and we're asking on social media, what difficulties did you face during your studies? Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment, please, on our Facebook page.
All right. Now, speaking of UCT, joining us first up is such an incredible woman who recently earned the coveted job title of vice-chancellor at the university. Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng is a highly respected professor of mathematics and has published over 80 research papers.
So she's also a board member for the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, and in 2016 she was appointed by Cyril Ramaphosa to chair the Human Resources Development Council Standing Committee on Mathematics and Science. Wow.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Wow, oh, this is such a huge moment for me.
It's such an absolute honour to have you here. Firstly, what does a vice-chancellor do?
Well, they lead the university. They're in charge of every little bit of the university. Of course, a university is an academic institution, so the core business is the academic project, our research, social responsiveness work, and our teaching and learning. But what makes that work happen is a whole lot of support departments, support services across the university, from property services to ICT to student affairs. All the machinery that holds the academic project together and makes it happen. The Vice-Chancellor is in charge of all of that.
Tell us about that moment, or describe it rather, when the appointment was announced and you found out for the first time. What happened in your heart, in your mind?
I mean, I think it was quite a process, because there's different levels of approvals. So every step of approval, you know, there was a different
level of the game,
yes, and it was different emotions, because let's face it, I didn't think I'll get the job. I hadn't applied for the job. I didn't think I'm the right person, and I was quite happy to go on being DVC for another. You know, I've just finished 1 year. I have still 4 years to go, and I have a permanent position as a professor at UCT. So I wasn't. This is one job that I went into it. Knowing that I've got the capability and the attributes to do it, but not feeling like I have to get it. So I'm going to do everything to get it. I felt I'm going to go in there, I'm going to present myself honestly, authentically, and real. If they agree with me that I think I've got the attributes, just like the people who nominated me to get into the job and convince me, then I'll go in and do it. If they don't, I don't want to be embarrassed about myself, because I want to present myself well, and I'll go back to my office and do my job, which I love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it wasn't. It was so. I wasn't feeling stressed about it. So I went on doing my job. The day I did the presentation, my diary was full with everything else. I went in, did the presentation, and got on with my meetings. The day I did the interview was the same. I didn't take leave or anything. And so when it was announced, I mean, up to the last level, I still told myself I should trust the process. I don't have to get the job. The university deserves a good leader. This is a critical moment. If I don't get it, I will accept it. So I was humbled when I got it. I was overwhelmed. It was mixed emotions, because I thought, wow. So they trust me with this huge challenge and task to lead the team, a very capable team. And I have an analogy to this thing. I mean, I'm a Baka fan. I don't know if any of you is the Baka fan, but and I visited the Baka Museum recently in Barcelona.
Right.
And when
I follow you, I stalk you, so I see all your holidays and all the places you go to.
I didn't write about this. It was a work trip, and I spent 2 hours at Barcelona Museum, Baka Museum. And you see the story of success. This is a team that recruits the best in the world to play for them. History of success after success after success. And I stopped in the middle of the museum and I thought, who's the coach? And who cares?
Yeah.
And then I thought, if you get appointed as the coach of Baka, clearly the challenge is on you to win, not the team. The team will win, we know that. We the fans, know that the team wins. I mean...
It's a winning team.
It's a winning team. The issue is, what are you going to do? Okay, but here's the thing. The team members are stars in and of themselves.
Yeah.
But they're human. And so they're complex. Human beings are complex. They've got weaknesses, they've got strengths, some have got prejudices, some have got, you know, all those things. But put them on the field, they win. That doesn't mean they don't have the other complexities of being a human. I feel like a Baka coach.
Wow.
I'm irrelevant.
I love
it's the
that
team.
analogy, though.
It's the
But
team.
I have to tell you, I'm a
love that
Cristiano
analogy.
Ronaldo fan, so I'm going to deal with one.
I love that
But
analogy.
here's the thing. You see, you know Cristiano Ronaldo, but do you know who's the coach?
No.
Okay.
Cristiano is his only own coach. No, I'm kidding.
You know what I love
It is
about that
amazing.
analogy is that UCT is a star university.
Yeah.
And it's won and it will continue to win. It's had a tumultuous past recently and it's a complex space.
Yeah.
And even your journey to becoming Chancellor was not an easy road. We read about a smear campaign where your qualifications were questioned and undermined and people were suspicious. How did you go through that and how did you take that on?
I mean, it's, you know, you expect in life to be critiqued, especially in an academic environment. Critique is the order of the day.
Yes.
Never in my life
And you have to
I thought,
take it with a thick skin.
well, I mean, it's the game.
Yeah.
Going against the grain is part of the business.
Yeah.
But never in my life did I think anyone would doubt my qualifications because my academic journey has been public. I mean, if there's anyone in executive management in the country today whose academic qualifications and whatever in public has been mine. When I got all my qualifications are in South Africa. It's not like I got my master's in Cambodia and my PhD in some...
You didn't suddenly appear waving
Well, I didn't study... None of my
qualifications.
qualifications are from outside. I studied everything in South Africa. So I'm like your homegrown academic. You know, my international experience is part of my career after qualification, research, as a scholar, but not as part of gaining the qualifications. So it was quite a surprise. And so I thought, these people haven't done their homework. And of course, on finding out, it was 2 people. Wow. It wasn't everybody.
It wasn't
of
a
course.
system.
It wasn't everyone, it wasn't the system.
Yeah.
But of course, that raised questions about the system. How does a university such as UCT hire a DVC with DOJI qualifications?
But also, I was
So it wasn't just about me.
No, but
Right,
part
yeah.
of the smear
But
campaign, you were also
the university
criticised
and
for
disrepute.
being quite for being quite hip and having a social media presence. And when I was reading it, I was thinking, how naive and ignorant of people accusing you of that. Where actually, that is such an amazing. It's the coolest part about you, I think, because it's also a very close connection for you and to your students.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody needs to be social media savvy nowadays.
Well, but of course, I mean, this is the 21st century.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even talking about millennials. I'm talking about Generation C, which doesn't have an age, lives online, sleeps with a phone, and that's okay.
I'm worried about those guys. I worry about them.
It's, you know, so I mean, I think it's an issue of generation gap of what the Generation C. I mean.
Sure.
What life is like today and what does it mean, and so people think when you're on social media you're there to sell yourself. And here's the reason how I got onto social media and why. I mean, I've got children, so my first thing to get online. I wanted to see what are they doing.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
But
you've got to know what's going on in the world on social media.
But that was, you know, it got a lot.
Sure.
But secondly, I get so many young people who want to connect with me, who want to meet with me. I cannot meet with each one of them.
Yeah.
And social media allows me to speak to all of them, all at once, the message that they want, that will encourage them. They might not want it, by the way, but it's what they need.
The medicine they need.
The medicine they need. And I can be a trusted sister who they wish they had and they don't have. And it doesn't take a lot of my time. So, and I've focused my social media presence. I present my real self on social media. You know, it's not, you know, the idea that success, that success is not easy and smooth. You work hard. So that's why I have a hashtag past 3 a.m. squad, because I get up at 3 a.m. and 3:30 I'm busy putting my makeup. 4:30 I'm getting out. Latest 4:45 I'm in my office.
Look, I can't think of a better mentor.
But young people need to know that if you want to succeed, if you want all of that, this is one way. This is a way in which one person is doing it.
It's also a proven path.
But that doesn't mean you can't slay.
You are amazing.
Did you know what I'm saying? But that's the total me, right? So that doesn't mean you can put a pink lipstick, you can have high heels, you can look good simply because you woke up at 3 and you leave your office at 8, which I do, right? So, but it's the whole me, because when they see only that, without noticing that I get up at 3, they might be thinking I walked into my office at 10. I mean, my makeup looks okay at 10. You know, yes, you woke up like this. No, we don't.
We're going to chat to you a little bit more later also about your love for mathematics. I mean, I can't
makeup
even
and mathematics. What more does a girl need?
And high heels.
Thank you.
Plus, later on, we sit down with 3 recent UCT graduates who share their inspiring stories of how they attained their degrees against all odds. Welcome back to Afternoon Express live on SABC3. We're joined back on the couch with Mamokgethi Phakeng, who is the Vice-Chancellor of UCT. So, tell me about your love for mathematics and when did you fall in love with it?
Okay. So, but first let me say I'm taking over as Vice-Chancellor on the 1st of July.
Okay.
So not yet.
My bad.
I don't want my boss to be...
We're just fascinated about your love because you studied pure maths as an undergrad.
Yes.
I mean, how smart do you have to be?
Who wants to do
that?
pure maths? Not even like a little
Here's the thing. I mean, I grew up in a family that never talked about maths being difficult. My dad expected everyone to be excellent at everything. So subjects were equal. There wasn't... I didn't even know that people struggled with maths.
Yeah.
It was just a subject that I felt comfortable with, that gave me some security and comfort, that when I write a test, I could check whether my solution is correct or not.
Oh, wow.
And I liked that, that I could check, and I would walk out of the test knowing that I passed or not. You know, whereas the other subjects didn't do that for me. Yeah. And so it was if you like, it was a cop-out. It was an easy...
Or you're a true mathematician because
it was,
you know, because there's a right answer or a wrong answer. In a lot of other subjects, it can sometimes be subjective.
Well, there's different ways. I mean, it's the fact that I understood. I mean, with mathematics, people don't understand the complexity about mathematics is that it's very hierarchical. So it's like a chain. So if you miss one chain, the rest of the thing doesn't work. And that one chain might be the chain in grade 4. So if you didn't get fractions, I can tell you algebra is going to be impossible.
Of course.
If you don't get algebra, calculus can't be done.
Yeah, I'm still adding on my fingers.
Whereas other subjects can be contained per subject. So you can't say, well, I didn't do well in grade 5, so I'll catch it up in grade 9. It doesn't work that way. It works. So that's the complexity. So I guess I got it. I got it, and I think I remember explicitly that at grade 10, I went to a winter school, a mathematics winter school, where my school was running a winter school for physics and another school was running a winter school for mathematics, and my parents decided I must go to this winter school for mathematics. Yeah. And actually, I wasn't doing badly, but at that winter school, I got hooked somehow, and they were doing only geometry. And many students struggle with geometry. And I got it. It made sense. And I got this thing that this thing makes sense. So it was the idea that mathematics makes sense. I don't have to memorize it. I don't have to struggle, remember, whatever. I can make...
It's logical to you.
Yes. So it was that.
Yeah.
So as I say, as much as people think, you know, you're smart, you can do maths, for me, it was like the easy way out because it made sense. It didn't require that.
And it always worked out if you're
if I didn't, sometimes I didn't get the problem right, but I knew when I got out that I didn't get that one right. It didn't look right.
I hated fractions so much. I put on YouTube videos to teach my kids fractions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how I do it.
But there's obviously a side of your brain that works. I mean, both sides of your brain seems to be working brilliantly. But also, you also have a knack for science as well. Like you're a B1 level scientist. What is that?
Yes.
Well, the rating of a scientist, the rating system for scientists is science as a practice and science as a discipline. So it's a rating as a researcher, actually. So, but the National Research Foundation runs the system, is an international peer review system. It's a choice. You don't have to get rated, but you submit your credentials. It's a long process. You submit your best papers, you write out all sorts of things. Many people choose not to do it because you're actually exposing yourself to the world. And then your stuff gets sent all over the world for assessment, and then a decision is made based on the review reports, whether you get a rating or not and what level. The rating is not for life. 5 years later, it expires, you've got to apply, reapply. Yes, so it's quite a hectic process. So the rating, last year, I mean, my first rating was 3 years after my PhD, which was a C1 rating, which meant I had some, I'm an established researcher and I had some international recognition. The second rating was a B2, which means I have considerable international recognition. The majority of the researchers say I've got considerable. And then last year, I submitted again then, at the end of the year, I got a result and I got a B1, just one bump up. And that means
well,
all the reviewers said I've got considerable international recognition. But of course, I mean, this is a B1, right?
So
there's still A.
Like, I think for a female student at UCT, I think they must just be so happy that you are there.
Yeah.
It
What is
means
your
so
heart
much,
for
really.
UCT? What is for its future? And because it's rising up out of the ashes. And what is your heart for it?
Look, UCT is an excellent university and it's got excellent scholars. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I think everyone says we have to transform. If you can transform, you solve everything. We've got to decolonize, and I agree that's important. We've got to keep our excellence, and also realize that our excellence will not be sustainable if we do not transform. But I think we will not even be able to do that if we don't make peace with each other. Sort of, we need a peace. Peace doesn't mean that we will never disagree.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean we will never disagree. We're all in the same church. A university is not a church, so we don't expect everyone to say amen to the same song. But we expect a space that is comfortable with dissent, with different voices, with different ideologies, ways of being, ways of seeing, and ways of learning.
Absolutely.
That it doesn't privilege one over the other. And so it's an inclusive space, but it's also engaged and engaging, and also unapologetically African. For me, that's important. I'm not looking for UCT to be a church. I'm looking for it to be
progressive.
A house that's complex.
Yeah.
And it's comfortable in its complexity.
You just described our loft.
It's not going to beat up everyone to say amen to something,
yes,
but it's going to allow people to be. And I think that is going to be a useful thing where we can pursue the transformation project as we sustain our excellence. We've got to draw on our excellence. Excellence is complex. Some people say, but it's been good. Why even think of doing anything else?
Yeah, why reinvent the wheel?
But the issue is that, you see, excellence is complex. Excellence can marginalize. Excellence can silence. Excellence can hurt as well. You know, it depends on how you see it, how you use it, and how you recognize and value it. And so, you know, a house that's at peace with its complexity will recognize those problematics of excellence as we pursue them and strengthen them, the excellence, because then we will be able to see why is it that this student who we recruited with 7 A's, suddenly 6 months later, they're failing everything.
Wow.
Do you see what I mean? I mean, it will help us understand that perhaps it's not. This is not just about them.
Yeah.
We also have to ask.
We can also
ask. Well, it's not just the students. Sometimes the perception is that the students must adjust to the environment, and they must adjust to the lecturers. It's also how ready are we
adjusting
for the people we recruit, who we select so carefully. We select them carefully, and times are changing. We've been academics for a long time. Are we getting ready to the changing cohort of students that are getting? Our student body looks different from what it was 20 years ago.
And we're going to have to stop you there because we're going to have to move to an ad break.
You're so awesome. I could sit at your feet all day and just drink your wisdom. The focus of today's show is on the power of education, and after the break we sit down with 3 recent UCT graduates who chat to us about the challenges they face in obtaining their qualifications.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, earning a degree from a respectable university is no easy task in its own right. For many young students, external factors add to the pressure and challenge of graduating.
Things like financial constraints, social adjustment, depression and anxiety all affect a student's journey. And this afternoon, we're joined by 3 inspiring young women who recently graduated from UCT, each within their own unique set of challenges. But welcome to Nompilo Zungu, Ayanda Mazibuga and Mabatu Matlala. Welcome to the love.
Welcome, ladies.
Congratulations, Mazel Tov.
Okay, firstly, you didn't just get I studied a Bachelor of Arts, and when my dad told everybody, what are you studying? He said Bachelor of Arts, a BA, it stands for bugger all. He was wrong, obviously.
It is
but
valid.
Now you ladies really did study quite impressive degrees. Why don't you tell everyone what you studied?
I did a BSc in Human Physiology and Anatomy. Yeah.
I did a Bachelor of Commerce specializing in politics, philosophy and economics. Yeah.
I did BCom Economics and Finance and BCom Honours in Financial Analysis and Portfolio Management.
Wow, guys. Congratulations. We're really proud of you.
Thank you.
And coming out of a university like UCT that is as brilliant as it is, and earlier on Mamokgethi explained about its complexities, what has been your journey to graduation? It hasn't always been easy. What are the adjustments that all of you had to go through?
For me, firstly, it was a culture shock coming from home, having everything depending on my mother, my family, church, everything here, and then coming to this place where I had to be just independent, everything on my own, having 2 jobs, doing my final year and getting my degree at the same time. It was all just a culture shock and just, a huge transition from being mama's baby and then this woman all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
You had 2 jobs in your final year.
I had 2 jobs last year, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My journey at UCT filled with so many emotions, very exciting as well, because I can't leave that out. And a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows. And I think the difficult part was explaining or finding the language for the low lows. How do I explain anxiety, or how do I find the language to actually explain how I need to negotiate with academic pressure and my mental health. And I think what was great, what came out of it is it's such a blessing that we live in a time where we can share our experiences and we're normalizing a conversation around mental health and how important it is to talk about it. So, yeah.
Wow. And yourself?
Wow, mine, it was hard to adapt to the changes with Cape Town. I mean, coming from Skukune was just us, Bapedi, into a diverse society. It was a lot. It got to a point where my parents even asked for my timetable so they can ask in between lectures just to ask if I'm still fine. Because having to deal with the diversity of people around here, I'm used to being in my comfort zone, back at home, just us, Babedi, and then to UCT, it's huge on its own, different people from all over. And I was forced to step out of my comfort zone and interact with people. I mean, if you get lost in the morning, you're forced to go to someone and ask, where is this building? Where is that? And then it was massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of support structures did you have while you were studying?
If any.
Yeah, which is valid, right?
Yeah,
which is valid. In terms of the actual institution, I think those support structures, I didn't personally pursue them because I didn't know about them, right? Yeah. So I had to rely on friends, family, even just people that share the same experience with you. You might not know them that well, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is an elephant in a room for me always, but what about the reality of young black students who are committing suicide at UCT, and increasingly, what do you think is contributing to that?
So many people not handling
that experience. And I mean, there's so many things about education that one doesn't realize when you're in high school and you can't wait to go to varsity and get that degree. There's so many socio-cultural complexities that affect your experience of studying. And what do you think are those issues at UCT?
I think it's the pressure. I mean, coming to UCT, we obviously know that if you're accepted in UCT, you have been an exceptional learner from your high school. And then now everyone is looking at you. They still expect the same performance from you. But you get to UCT, it challenges you. And you get to a point where it's your first time failing. and that really kicks you. Sometimes, because you've never failed before, you don't know how to bounce back from it. And that could, like, it's a challenge on its own. You don't know how to bounce back, and sometimes you don't even know the channels, like where to go when time to get up.
Yeah.
You don't really know how to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from parents, they also still expect the same performance. If your parents have never been to university, then they would expect the same performance out of you. Your friends at home, the people in your community still expect an A student out of you, but then UCT will challenge you.
But it's such an important point because it raises the question then, are schools preparing students enough for university?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like there's a huge gap between high school and university. Especially, I think we all did, is it NSC? But we didn't do CAPS. So that's like, there's like a huge gap between our
what's
curriculum.
NSC and CAPS?
It's like different curriculums, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so CAPS is, they're like a step forward compared to our curriculum. So there's that gap. And also, I feel like there's just a huge difference in the kind of challenges they face in high school. They face kind of harder challenges than the kind of challenges we faced, because we're kind of spoon-fed, and they have like harder curriculum. So there's like that academic gap, and also some other challenges. I think it's just there's like financial constraints, and when you have like financial issues, that raises so many other problems. Even though there's supports like for me and Matabo, there was ProMats that supported us financially. There's like mentoring.
But it also can create a social exclusion that can bring a lot of loneliness and isolation.
And stress. I think, like, if I don't have money for something, then it literally
that's
grows
true.
on
Yes,
me.
exactly.
That it's debilitating to then, you know, free your mind and to focus on what you're supposed to focus on.
There are just so many complex things that you have to navigate.
Exactly.
Sure,
It's quite
but
difficult.
listen, but against all odds, congratulations, really.
And you guys moved through Fees Must Fall. You were at the university at one of the most historical points of its journey.
That was quite exciting.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you. Well done.
Thank you so much.
We're going to have you back on this couch when you're like the most successful female leaders in South Africa. Okay.
President.
Yeah, it's achievable. Remember that it is achievable.
Very.
We're heading over to you, Danilo.
Whiskers, feed their curiosity.
Come here, Donut. Having pets is always so much fun. They bring so much joy to families, but they can also be a serious commitment. And not only will they change your life, but as a pet owner, you are also responsible for their health and well-being. So today we have Dr. Stephen Maberly in studio with us to give us some insight into the importance of visiting a vet. Doctor, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Hi, Danilo. Thanks
How's
for
it
having me.
going?
Yeah, it's going well, thanks.
Good. She's such a bundle of joy, clearly got a big personality, and knows where to get her food.
Very busy.
So this is the only dog in the world that I know that likes coming to visit a vet. Most of us are obviously never too sure about how often we should be seeing vets and how often we shouldn't be seeing vets.
Yes.
Because is it something that you do only once when they're sick?
That's the reason most people take their pets to veterinary clinics, but that's unfortunately not the whole truth. Primary health care, which is very important at this life stage, is paramount to developing a relationship with your vet and learning about all the important things that a puppy or a kitten needs to have. So we like to just run through a list of important things: vaccines, deworming, microchipping, and then of course pet insurance. Pet insurance is really important these days because finances are often very tight, and people are scared to go to the vet because they know that guess that it's going to cost a whole bunch of money. And having pet insurance is great.
Oopsie. She's having so much fun today. I get that. I don't think these are sort of things that you don't get taught when you are buying an animal necessarily. You always just think that vets are there for when your animal gets sick. So there's a lot at stake. Should we go once a month, once every 3 months, once a year?
So at this life stage, which is the first life stage, it's really, really important that they go at the correct intervals to have their full health check as well as vaccinations. So the first step is between 6 and 8 weeks when they require their first vaccination. That's for puppies. Kittens a little bit later. We usually start at about 9 weeks with kittens. And then the vaccines follow on in month periods. So the puppy will come, if he comes at 7 weeks, then the next vaccine will be at 11 weeks, and then the following vaccine another 4 weeks later, which is about 15 weeks. And that is quite critical, because what people don't realize is very often the parents have, the mother's immunity interferes with the vaccines.
Oh, I see.
And so if you don't have that last vaccine at about 15, 16 weeks, you can still have mother's immunity interfering, and then you don't get a proper boosting of the puppy's immunity.
But in any case, I've heard that vaccines are not 100% effective anyway.
That is correct. We're dealing with a biological system, and then obviously they may not respond like we'd like to. And then obviously at a year of age, you get another chance to boost that puppy series of vaccines or kitten series of vaccines. There are unfortunately a few dog breeds and possibly cat breeds that don't respond like we'd like them to the vaccines, but that's rare, whereas most puppies and kittens will respond nicely.
So I'm guessing, and I mean, I'm obviously taking a big stab at this, but it sounds correct to me, is that most people don't want to see vets that often because of the cost implication of it all. But there is clearly a saving in terms of trying to make sure that your animals don't get to that point where they need to go to the vet more regularly for serious treatments because they've been vaccinated before.
Correct. Primary health care can prevent these serious diseases. I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to have your pet or exposed to rabies, for instance, and if you haven't had a rabies vaccination, it's a
serious risk.
Serious risk, and people think it's not important in the Western Cape, maybe, but certainly in other areas, Natal and Transvaal, very, very important.
I'm sure.
Great risk.
I'm a big fan of adoption of animals, because so many animals are being born in areas where they're not being looked after, and they get collected by these brilliant places that look after these animals. One thing that I've always wanted to know is, because you've spoken quite a lot about puppies, what about if I've adopted a child, imagine, if I've adopted a puppy or a kitten or perhaps an older animal that I've managed to find, what is the vaccination process then?
So, obviously, the vaccination process is important, but very often these pets, be it a cat or a dog, have come out of potentially abusive or difficult or stressful circumstances. And besides the importance of making sure that the vaccine status is correct or up to date, they very often have other diseases which are not necessarily found in the normal situation of buying a pet or a pedigree animal. And so having a veterinary visit is really important to identify diseases or behavioral problems, because often they're very stressed, and these stressful situations create temperament problems, and the earlier you can start identifying those and dealing with them, the better.
Awesome. Well, I hope you managed to find what's giving Donut so much energy on the show, because eventually, at some point, I hope there's a vaccination for it and there's a calming down. Doctor, thank you so much. This has been very insightful. I really appreciate your time today.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So, guys, as you know, as pet owners, keeping your animals healthy and happy is the least we can do. So make sure that you keep your furry friends healthy and happy by taking them in for their checkups.
So make sure you join the conversation on social media, where we're asking, what difficulties did you face during your studies? Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. And after the break, it's time for our Online Express, where we look at what stories are trending online. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
They're cute, they're cuddly, and they're TV stars. Baxter and Donut, the adorably fluffy four-legged members of the Afternoon Express family, are sharing their daily adventures on social media. To see what Baxter and Donut get up to behind the scenes, follow the adventures of Baxter and the adventures of Donut on Instagram.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, graduating with a degree or diploma is something anyone can be really, really proud of. But it's especially triumphant when someone has gone through a lifetime of challenges and still achieves their academic dreams, much like the guests on today's show.
So over the weekend, it was announced that the University of Johannesburg has awarded Dr. Esther Mahlangu with an honorary doctorate, showing that it's never too late. The world-famous Ndebele artist is receiving the academic achievement for her legacy as a cultural entrepreneur and educator. Dr. Mahlangu entered her graduation ceremony dressed in traditional Ndebele attire, wearing gold bangles around her ankles, and she was officially capped.
I actually saw another picture of her, which was so amazing.
She's
I saw it on
so
Instagram
cute.
when she was standing outside the university, and she was standing in her Ndebele gear, wearing these round, hot Miu Miu sunglasses. And I just thought, oh, she's just so cool.
She's adorable.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Now, last week, actress, TV personality, and everyone's little sister, Nomzamo Mbatha, had everybody in South Africa in their fields when she received her accountancy degree at UCT after having dropped out 5 years earlier to pursue her acting career. So at the ceremony, her graduation ensemble of choice was an absolute tearjerker. She donned a dress that had the South African Depression and Anxiety Group's toll-free number printed on it, and it also featured pictures of the people that she lost in her life. She also added the words resilience, courage, and overcome on the dress. After being capped, Nomzamo's iconic Amandla fist thrust captured the emotion of the day by paying homage to her fellow namesake, the late Mama Nomzamo Winifred Madikizela Mandela.
Now, it took 7 years of being a full-time student to amass 3 degrees before she could even attempt to write her final board exam. To practice, Zureda Jardine finally received her psychology undergrad degree from Wits University. A huge congratulations to her and her amazing achievement.
I mean, what a woman.
She's a
she's
superwoman.
got 2 kids, she's got a full-on career.
And then she's got this yoga body and this, she's just a health machine.
And she's like, Zureda, we love you. Well done. Really, that was so, I mean, she's just amazing. Truly a remarkable and inspirational statement to all those still fighting towards earning their qualifications and all the struggles that come with it. It's really heartwarming to have inspirational figures of different genres, such as Dr. Mahlangu and Nomzamo, who have survived through the depths of pain and struggle to achieve their goals. Oh, it makes me want to go back and study
women!
now.
Yeah.
KRUSH, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
So it's Clover Woman Crush Wednesday, and Clover Crush have just released their exciting new cranberry flavor. Now today we are crushing hard on some amazing women, adding a daily dose of goodness to their communities.
Absolutely. We're highlighting 3 inspiring women that are striving for change in South Africa and are making a huge impact in their communities with their amazing initiatives.
So our first Clover Woman Crush Wednesday is THATO KGATLHANYE, and THATO is a woman on a mission and knows exactly what she wants. THATO founded ETHAKA at the age of 18.
The ETHAKA Foundation produces recycled school bags that are 100% repurposed school bags. These bags are changing school kids' lives all over Africa, and these are repurposed school bags are giving children dignity. And I mean, you know that experience of going to school when you don't have a bag or it's broken or your shoes are not working, or just little things like that just really change your experience.
But you know how amazing these bags are? They've actually got UV panels on them. So when the kids are at school during the day, the sun shines on these UV panels, these solar panels attached to the bag. So when they go home at night, instead of having to study by candlelight,
there's light from the bag. It's absolutely incredible. Now, the company employs over 20 people and has many volunteers contributing to the initiatives. ETHAKA is continuing to make waves all over the world. Keep up the good work, guys.
Now, our second Clover Woman Crush Wednesday is KAYLI v. LEVITAN. KAYLI is a copywriter at MNC Saatchi Abel and is spreading positive vibes with her amazing initiative, The Street Store.
Wow. The Street Store started in 2014 and is basically a free pop-up clothing store for the homeless. And the Street is basically transformed into a pop-up clothing store where big posters hang with hanger-shaped logos, and the public are informed in advance and via social media, and they come through and they shop for old clothes.
I actually saw it. It was on Bree Street at First Thursday on Thursday, and it was, I mean, it's an amazing initiative.
And it's done in such a dignified way, and it just looks like being at a mall on the street.
Yeah. Now, the homeless come through to pick the clothes that they would like. And this initiative really provides a great platform for people to bring through any of their old clothes and help out the more needy. I mean, how many times do you have things and you don't know what to do with it? And so now,
Exactly.
That's where you've got to take your stuff.
Yeah.
Now, finally, we look at 3 amazing women that are contributing to youth and social development in a big way. FEMME Projects is an organization founded by Lauren Loubser, Kim Windvogel, and Kelly Eve Koopman. Now, FEMME Projects is educating and empowering youth in areas of comprehensive sexual education, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, sexual reproductive health and rights, and all things related to puberty.
And FEMME Projects believe that our current education system, particularly the approach to educating young women in life orientation, needs drastic reform. I definitely agree. They aim to provide young learners in schools to have access to accurate, effectively communicated information that will support them in making well-informed choices, especially around sexual health.
Brilliant. Great work, ladies. They are truly inspiring women out there doing such amazing things for our communities. Head over to our social media page and share with us who your Clover Woman Crush Wednesday is and how exactly she's doing amazing things for her community.
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
This weekend, the presenter search on 3 auditions move to Durban. This season is brought to you by Mamokgethi and Capitec, and this weekend's auditions will be held at the Durban Exhibition Centre this Saturday and Sunday, the 14th and 15th of April. Gates open at 8 a.m, so be sure to get there early. And all you have to do is register at the gate and prepare a short link that'll show the judges that you are ready to be the new face of SABC3. The competition is heating up as we move through the auditions. So Durban, make sure you come prepared. For more details and a list of audition venues in a city near you, visit presentersearchon3.com.
Step into the spotlight as South Africa's next TV superstar with Presenter Search on 3, proudly brought to you by Capitec and Mamokgethi.
Own the SABC3 stage as the newest host of top billing Afternoon Express or the Expresso Morning Show.
The spotlight turns to Durban with auditions taking place on the 14th and 15th of April at the Durban Exhibition Centre. Gates open at 8 a.m.
Visit presentersearchon3.com for more details.
With SABC3,
the stage is yours.
We hope you're enjoying the show today. It's truly been inspirational. And make sure you head over to our social media platforms and add your voice to the conversation. Have you earned a tertiary education? What difficulties did you face during your studies? Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express or comment on our Facebook page. And if you'd like to share your story live, then please do. Don't hesitate to call us on 021 430 9881. We'll be right back.
Get a taste of the smooth island life and win big with Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives. Via Tropica, follow the entry details on the pack and you could win daily airtime prizes, Daniel Klein watches, American Tourista luggage for your next adventure, vouchers from loot.co.za to shop the hot daily deals online, and the grand prize of a Kia Picanto. For competition T's and C's, visit tropica.co.za. And don't forget to watch Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC3.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. It's been such an awesome show today. What have been your highlights?
Oh, my goodness. Well, my vice-chancellor, of course.
I know.
Wow.
I know. Wasn't she incredible?
She's so inspiring.
Yeah.
And actually, throughout the whole show, I've kept on thinking in the back of my mind, I really want to go back and study something.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to do languages. Last year, I tried French. Can't say I passed that.
You were very sexy at studying it,
I was
though.
very sexy at studying it.
Yes, you were.
Okay. This year, I'm trying out Portuguese. I'm actually not doing too bad.
Awesome.
But I'm not amazing at it yet.
I'm studying. I've got about 8 more modules to go. I'm in my final year, and it is hard. So today I was very inspired by everybody
here. Well,
here.
you're studying politics, aren't you?
Well, one of my courses is politics.
How do you even stay awake?
Oh, it's fun. I do find it a bit fun, but I'm that last-minute person because I'm a working mom. I work all day. I've got 2 kids, and then I get home and I've got 3 assignments to do in 2 days, and then I'm losing my mind and drinking Red Bull.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, politics is it's difficult because you've just got to do so much research.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about what's happening in South Africa just in terms of education, and women are so empowered in the academic space?
Yeah.
What do you think is contributing to it?
I think there's just a whole change. Everything's changing. I do worry, though, that students are well prepared enough for universities.
You're absolutely right.
So I'm really glad that our 3 students did cover that.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult. You don't need to just be academically prepared when you get to university. There aren't any teachers that are nurturing you and looking after you and seeing that you've done your homework and seeing that you're okay with the curriculum. You're on your own.
And giving you extra
and
lessons.
I think it's really difficult for people to handle that level of independence.
Yeah.
Because you're literally on your own.
Absolutely. And then especially when students have an added complexity, like they don't have that much money, or they're socially inept, or they feel like
or too social is also. I mean, that was my problem at university. I was just too much fun.
Or when you go to a space where nobody looks like you, where you're not represented, and you feel like you're isolated and lonely. Totally. But I really loved what Mamokgethi Phakeng said about how it's not just about slaying, and I really think that the slay generation need to really see how hard people work behind the scenes.
Yeah. But you can also slay and work really hard and represent it as well.
And wear your heels and just look amazing.
Like during the commercial break, what Mamokgethi said as well, which I thought was really amazing. She said, a lot of people don't also see that the pretty girls also work hard.
Yes. Well, the narrative is that pretty girls just show up and smile, and then they get everything handed to them on a silver platter.
Yeah. But imagine, she was saying that she wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Imagine having to wake up
at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know my name.
I mean,
I don't know my name at 8 o'clock.
Bonnie is not a morning person, that's for sure. Okay, so the presenter search, sorry, just to
How's
switch
presenter
diversity.
search going?
Presenter search is absolutely incredible. So I've gone to PE already and Cape Town. So Durban is happening now. And I must be honest, people that are pitching up, they're bringing it.
Are people bringing it?
Yeah.
It's been quite
I love it.
I mean, the turnout has been impressive. Yeah. People really showed up.
Yeah, and there is so much talent. But I think what it's so important to remember is that when you are auditioning for any of the 3 shows, be it Top Billing, Afternoon Express or Expresso, what happens is it's not your beginner show, it's not entry level, it's that. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a very high standard. So thank you so much to everybody who is coming to the auditions. We'll see you in Durban this weekend. Other than that, we'll be back on the show tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be back then.
We
same
love
time,
you lots.
same place.
Thank you for joining us. God bless.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.